What's your favorite thing you've done this offseason?
Favorite thing I've done this offseason? Man, just get back to playing basketball. Like, honestly, like, I didn't get to play last year, so played a few games, but just being on the court and having fun and smiling.
After months away from the spotlight due to injuries that kept her off the court, Caitlin Clark has finally made her return, and this was no ordinary comeback. Basketball fans have been waiting with bated breath, and the moment did not disappoint. This marked her first appearance at a senior-level USA basketball camp, a massive milestone considering the elite competition and high stakes involved. It also came with her first in-depth interview in months, where Clark opened up in a rare and vulnerable way about everything she's endured. She spoke candidly about the challenges of her sophomore season, the adversity she faced, and the powerful lessons she learned along the way, moments that truly sent chills. But what really set fans buzzing was a major announcement about her future with the Fever, one that could completely reshape how we view her career path. The excitement is electric right now, and the basketball world is fully locked in on Caitlin Clark's return.
Today, that after practice, you were a little bit nervous going in just because you hadn't played in a while. Was there a moment you kind of got over that, said, all right, I'm good, I'm back to where I was before I got hurt? And I think you hit that one step back three that sort of bring sort of some comfort in some ways in the sort of part we saw.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like when I touched the basketball to start warming up before the practice even started, that's probably when I felt pretty comfortable. But, I mean, I've worked so hard. Like, I haven't taken a break since, honestly, since the beginning of the WNBA season, with just all my rehab and getting back to where I wanted to be and then getting even better. So that's been kind of my focus. And, this has kind of been my next thing that I've been working for since our season ended.
The stats told a story that almost didn't seem real. 62 records shattered in a single rookie season, and not by narrow margins, but completely obliterated. Records many believed would stand forever. Night after night, Caitlin Clark cemented herself as basketball's undisputed rising star, putting up numbers so outrageous that analysts struggled to find historical comparisons. But her sophomore season unfolded in a drastically different, heartbreaking way. What began as a seemingly minor right groin strain quickly escalated, followed by a left quadriceps injury that raised serious concern. Soon, the groin issue spread to both sides, signaling just how severe the situation had become. Then came the final blow, a bone bruise in her left ankle. After only 13 games into what was supposed to be a breakout sophomore campaign, her season ended abruptly. The transition from a court-dominating phenomenon to a sideline observer was tougher than any physical pain. The roar of packed arenas that once fueled her was replaced by the quiet isolation of rehab gyms, and the adrenaline of game nights gave way to endless, monotonous recovery sessions that tested her mental strength daily. Each day carried the same haunting questions. When would she return full strength? And would she ever regain that same explosive confidence on the court?
Thankful for, the training staff and player development and everybody that has kind of been there with me. They haven't taken a break either because they invest a lot of time and they want me to be successful. So I think for myself, like it's not proving it to yourself again, but it's just that feeling. And I think it just made me smile quite a bit. Like I really did kind of feel like myself out there and just continuing to get my lungs back. But I felt like I was moving really well. So it was pretty sad.
Those quiet hours away from the spotlight gave Clark something her meteoric rise had never allowed. True perspective on what really matters in basketball and in life. For the first time, she had space to reflect deeply on her journey, to watch her teammates from a completely different vantage point, and to truly understand what battling injuries looks like from the inside. She witnessed their raw frustration during endless rehab sessions, their relentless determination in the face of setback after setback, and their willingness to push through real pain just to make it onto the court for a simple practice. Not even a game. It became a masterclass in resilience, one that can't be learned any other way.
I mean, you basically, I think you had a stretch of like 7 years, whether it's Iowa or Dowling, where you just didn't miss a game. You never were out for one game with an ankle tweak or anything. Just having that stretch of being off the court and not playing games. Did you learn anything about yourself? And did you learn anything about the game just being on the sideline rather than playing?
The solitude of injury recovery, something that could have been crushing for a player so accustomed to the spotlight, became Clark's most unexpected and valuable education. Those long days away from the court, far from cheering crowds and constant media attention, revealed lessons about resilience and characters she never encountered while shattering records and filling highlight reels. Through that experience, She came to understand that leadership isn't just about jaw-dropping plays or hitting clutch shots under maximum pressure. True leadership, the kind that builds championship teams, shows up in the quiet moments when no one is watching, lifting up struggling teammates, offering real support when it's needed most, and consistently showing up in ways that never appear on a stat sheet.
A pretty incredible stretch of never missing a game. And, the fact is, when you're a professional athlete, it's going to come at some point. That's just how it goes. I think it's honestly taught me more than I've probably ever learned through the course of my career of, how to take care of your body, how to get right, how to stay healthy, and then just taking time for.
Clark began connecting with her injured teammates like never before, and that's where her character truly shined. She started sending regular check-in texts, not because it was expected, but because she genuinely cared. She offered real encouragement during their toughest moments, when doubts crept in and everything felt uncertain. Through this shared experience, she fully understood what it meant to be separated from the game she loved. Being away from basketball gave her a new perspective on the mental battles that come with physical setbacks, deepening her empathy in ways simply playing the game never could. Supporting a teammate is one thing when you're healthy and active, but it becomes something entirely different and far more meaningful when you're walking through the same struggle yourself.
At the end of the WNBA season, obviously I did everything I could to try to be able to come back and, be able to play for my team, but, it just didn't really work. I think that was almost a way of relief for myself, just knowing that, I gave everything I could to possibly try to play, but my body just wasn't really.
During her months away from basketball, Clark's understanding of what it truly means to be a great teammate transformed from the ground up. She realized that showing up for others could be just as important, if not more so, than excelling on the court or putting up impressive numbers. True leadership, she learned, isn't defined only by high-pressure game moments, but by consistent support, genuine encouragement, and real empathy for what teammates are going through. That extended break revealed something profound. Helping teammates navigate personal struggles forges bonds stronger than any chemistry built through on-court success alone. At the same time, Clark faced her own intense mental battles during recovery. She had to accept a body that didn't always cooperate with her ambitions, confront doubts about whether she'd ever return to her peak level, and live with the constant uncertainty of a timeline everyone kept questioning. Each day tested her patience in unfamiliar ways, pushed her resilience to its limits, and ultimately strengthened her determination to reclaim her place at the top of women's basketball.
Continued to rehab, and now feeling back at 100%, it honestly took probably longer than I expected, but knowing my body's in a really good spot. And, I think more than anything, it just teaches you how to be a really great teammate and a really good leader, and understanding what your teammates go through. Obviously, I'm going to have teammates that have been through injuries and are going to continue to go through injuries, and always leaning on them and being there for them. And, if I have a teammate hurt going forward, I'm always going to be the one that texts them and checks on them. And then, just pouring into your teammates. You can do that whether you play or you don't play. And
those incredibly challenging months revealed a deeper, more authentic side of Clark's character that fans rarely see. She refused to let injuries and setbacks define her journey or become the story people remembered about her career. Instead of succumbing to self-pity or bitterness, she used every day of downtime to observe team dynamics from a new perspective, noticing how veteran players guided younger teammates through tough moments and picking up on subtle leadership techniques she had never paid attention to before. She developed a renewed appreciation for something most take for granted, the simple act of being able to compete in the sport she loved, and gained profound understanding of the mental and emotional hurdles her teammates faced during similar struggles. Reflecting on the experience later, Clark realized it reshaped how she approached relationships within the team and what she valued in those connections. More than anything, it teaches you how to be a great teammate and leader, she said with genuine conviction. Seeing what others go through makes me committed to always being there for my teammates, especially those battling injury. That's the kind of wisdom that only comes from walking through the fire yourself.
Biggest honor you can possibly have and playing basketball in our country is wearing USA across your chest. So, I'm just excited to be here and honored. Obviously, it's kind of like the start to the new Olympic cycle, and quite a few different things before we get to that point, but just excited to be here and be surrounded by a lot of really great players, some that, haven't played in the Olympics before, and then others that have a medal or multiple medals. So I think it's been a fun group to be around.
Clark's dedication to supporting her teammates became unmistakably clear during her recovery. And it wasn't just talk. She backed up her words with consistent action. If a teammate is hurt, I'll always be the one checking in, texting, and just pouring into them, she explained. And teammates later confirmed she lived up to that commitment. Through this experience, she realized that real leadership isn't measured by playing time or minutes on the court, but by the presence and encouragement you provide, even from the sidelines. Each day away from competition only intensified her hunger to return, a desire that was almost palpable. I miss being on the court so much. I would have taken 10 bad games in a row just to be out there playing. That's how much I love it, Clark admitted, her genuine emotion clear. The enforced break gave her a deeper appreciation for the game that goes beyond stats and records, teaching her to value every single moment on the court, from high-stakes games to routine practice drills. Now, that newfound perspective and maturity would face its ultimate test on basketball's biggest stage, where pressure and expectations are unlike anything else in the sport.
Obviously, this camp has a lot of younger players. What can you say just about all of you being able to come together and kind of signify this start of this new Olympic cycle, with all of you being together and being so familiar with each other?
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have familiarity, whether we were playing on junior national teams together or whether we played versus each other in college or, obviously playing now versus each other in WNBA, or some of us obviously are teammates as well. So, we know each other pretty well. I think it obviously speaks to the way USA basketball does such a great job at the junior national team levels of really getting you kind of involved in the program and understanding what USA basketball.
The Duke University training facility buzzed with electric energy as 26 of the nation's top players gathered for what many consider one of the most critical camps in recent memory. This December's intensive session marked the official start of serious roster preparations for the 2026 World Cup in Berlin and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, making the stakes higher than ever. Sue Bird, now serving as managing director and bringing her championship experience to the role, observed every drill with a keen, evaluative eye, tasked with the enormous responsibility of identifying the athletes who would shape the next era of USA basketball. When Caitlin Clark entered the facility, she stepped into an environment unlike anything she had experienced in her career. Olympic veterans like Kayla Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young brought championship-caliber intensity to every session, instantly elevating the level of play. At the same time, 10 first-time senior camp attendees, including rising stars like Cameron Brink, Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston, and Guju Watkins, injected fresh energy and excitement, pushing the veterans and raising every drill to a level that exceeded all expectations.